Hey folks, are you having trouble with jamming over the internet? You're having crackles, pops, noises, and you're basically wondering what's happening there. Then this video is for you. Usually when this kind of thing happens and all your audio equipment is okay, it's due to the internet line. As you may know, there are two different ways of sending packets over the internet. One is TCP IP, yeah. The other one is UDP over IP. The difference between those two, TCP can resend packets and it's slower. Okay, UDP, you send the packet, off you go. You don't know if it will ever reaches its destination, but therefore it's faster. Because you can just fire out packets, right, in the direction where they need to go. So there's no control about the quality of the connection. When we are doing live jamming with other musicians, we want to have our packets reach the other musician as fast as possible. Therefore, every tool available, Sonobus, Jamulus, Jamkazam, and all the others are using UDP, obviously. Because with TCP/IP, we would never get that low latency connections that we would like to see. So what you can see here, I fired up Sonobus in this example, and I'm sending to one guy, I'm sending PCM 60-bit with 1.7-ish megabit per second. To the other one, I'm sending 128 kilobits per second, so a compressed channel. Which is 2 channels, so stereo, so it adds up, right? Plus some overhead. And I'm receiving from these guys PCM 16, as you can see here, okay? So latency, if you click here, you can basically see, okay, outgoing latency is 21 milliseconds, receiving latency is 23, and you've got ping time and then estimated round trip. So this is what Sonobus gives you. Now, it would be interesting to find out how many drops, packet losses, do I have. And you can see it right here. 59 drops over the time that it's being run, which is half an hour now. Okay, so these are not many packets that have been lost. Usually packets get lost if there's a buffer overrun. So for example, your local operating system has a buffer for those UDP packets, okay? If this buffer overruns, some packets get lost, for example. Also, your network card has a buffer before it sends out the stuff. Then it goes out to the internet. It goes over several so-called hops in the internet, which are basically switches that relay packets from one switch to the other until they reach the final destination. That final destination has a receive buffer on the network card and a receive buffer in the operating system. So you never know where things get lost. It's impossible to test this, right? However, there are a few clever tools out there that can measure if you have a general problem. So for example, if you are firing up Sonobus and you have like several drops per second here, into one of your pairs, you can immediately tell there's something wrong. And you can really recommend them to go to one of these measurement tools to find out whether there is a problem. So there are 2 tools that I usually use. One is called Losstest.com. Unfortunately, there's no preset for online jamming application, so you need to go with VoIP or whatever, something else. So I usually go for VoIP because this is voice over IP, which is basically the same what we are doing. Make sure you set these wait 2 seconds before recording results, because otherwise you will see some bump up at the beginning, which is not that good. Then you've got 2 servers only. So one is in Georgia, US. The other one is Australia. So I'm based in Germany. I usually go for the US, and then I go start test. Okay, and it takes a while to do the test, and it sends out packets, and the server in Georgia then comes back and receives it. So usually going from Germany to the US is about 120-ish milliseconds, right? You can see the results down here. So they've been sometimes pretty bumpy. So response time went up to like 145, 150, but most of the time it stayed down there. So if you do that test, for example, on a Saturday night, 2000, so 8 p.m., it will get a lot of you will get a lot of bumps here. It will be bumpy because you've got people that are streaming videos and stuff on the internet. If you do this over the week, like on a Wednesday night, it will be much better. Okay, so usually it should be like as even as possible, and you shouldn't have any packet loss. If you do see packet loss here, something's wrong. It's hard to tell where it's wrong, right? It could be your machine because it's overloaded. Then make sure, you turn off all your OneDrives, your Google Drives, your other drives that maybe are syncing data with some other peers. You make sure that nobody else on your home network is using the internet and stuff like that, right? If you then have still some packet loss, then you might need to talk to your internet service provider, okay, and tell them, look, I've got packet loss. What can you do about it? Okay. The other tool that's quite handy is Host My Calls tool. It's on hostmycalls.com. It's basically for checking if your line is fine for VoIP, for voice over IP. It is an IP packet loss and delay test. And you can basically click here for a tool test. You give it a project name. You select a time. Usually, you should really run it over 1 day or 12 hours, which means you have to have your PC run for that time or your Mac. But yeah, I recommend that. You type in your email address, and then you go for Start Internet Analysis. There's also an FAQ around that you can read through. I've done that test, and usually it gives you a route pattern for each hop that it finds. And if you click that, you get to the detailed report. So in my case, for the time period of test of this report, this internet connection is testing clean and suitable for voice over internet protocol. Okay, so I didn't have any packet loss for this 1 hour I've been running this. Okay, usually you would see some graphs here and here, and you could tell when delays or losses have happened. So if you run this over 1 day, you can basically find out when is the worst time to jam online. If you have a lot of losses, then you usually have also a bad online jamming experience. Okay, so if you look at the different operating systems, you can also find out on the operating systems which kind of packet loss you have. So, for example, if I go to my Windows PC, which is an old Windows 7 PC here, there's a command called netstat. And if you do the -s, it will show you also the statistics for UDP. So on this kind of PC, I have running 2 Sonobus instances that are connected to my Mac. So basically what I'm doing here, these are the 2 on the PC, and this is my instance on the Mac. So I'm basically connecting Sonobus from Mac to PC, right? And you can see in the meantime, we've got some more packets that have been dropped, and those should be also visible on Windows. And you can see there are 3 receive errors at the moment. And if you run this command like every second, you will see also that the datagram sent and received will go up. So for example, if I do this real quick, let's say 91, 93, 95, 97, 99, bam. So we're doing a few thousand packets, UDP packets, per second on this host, okay? On the send side and on the receive side. And we've got only 3 receive errors, which is not that much. So we're good on the PC side. And you can basically do this on every machine and easily find out if there are a lot of packet losses while you're doing online jamming, for example. Okay, so these are the tools that I found to be useful to find out if there is a general problem. Usually, what I found out with jamming with other people is that they have a bandwidth problem, right? So there's another video that I've done around slow internet lines and then Jamulus versus Sonobus. Make sure you check that out as well to make sure that you don't overload your internet line. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks a bunch for watching, and make sure to also subscribe to my channel. Have fun.